Do you know how the legendary Nintendo Entertainment System was born? If not, here we will tell you how it was. Welcome to Nintendomaniac, and this is the origin of the NES. Do you know the history of the Nintendo Entertainment System? The Famicom Entertainment System, also known as the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, outside Japan, is a video game console that was released by Nintendo in 1983. It is widely considered as one of the most influential and successful consoles in the history of gaming, as it introduced many iconic franchises, revived the industry after a crash, and dominated the market for years. The Famicom was developed by Nintendo as a way to capitalize on its successful arcade business, especially after the hit game Donkey Kong, which featured the debut of Mario. The console was designed by Masayuki Uemura, who wanted to create a cheap and reliable product that would appeal to children and families. The Famicom had a distinctive red and white color scheme, two hardwired controllers, one with a microphone, and an eject button for the cartridges. The name Famicom stands for Family Computer, which reflects Nintendo's vision of making a home entertainment system for everyone. The Famicom launched in Japan on July 15, 1983, with 3 games: Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., and Popeye. It faced competition from other consoles, such as the Sega SG-1000, which was released on the same day, but the Famicom quickly became a bestseller. Thanks to its superior hardware, innovative games, and strong support from third-party developers, some of the most popular games for the Famicom include Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Castlevania, Final Fantasy, and Dragon Quest. The Famicom also had several peripherals, such as the Famicom Disk System, which allowed games to be stored on floppy disks, and the Famicom Modem, which enabled online gaming and banking. The Famicom was redesigned as the NES and launched in North America in 1985 and in Europe and Australia in 1986. The NES had a different shape and color, and the controllers were detachable. It also had a lockout chip that prevented unauthorized or unlicensed games from running on the system. The NES was a huge success in the West, as it revived the video game industry after the crash of 1983, which was caused by an oversaturation of low-quality games and consoles. The NES became the best-selling console of its generation, selling over 60 million units worldwide and establishing Nintendo as a global leader in the gaming industry. The Famicom and the NES had a lasting impact on the world of gaming, as they introduced many genres, characters, and innovations that are still relevant today. The Famicom and the NES also influenced the culture and society of many countries, as they created a phenomenon of video game fandom, merchandising, and media. The Famicom and the NES are widely regarded as cultural icons and are often featured in museums, art, and nostalgia. The Famicom and the NES are also still playable and collectible, as many fans and enthusiasts continue to enjoy their games and hardware. The Famicom and the NES are truly the consoles that changed the world. The process of adapting the Japanese console to the American market was not easy for Nintendo. After the video game crash of 1983, which was caused by an oversaturation of low-quality games and consoles, the American retailers and consumers had lost interest and confidence in the video game industry. Nintendo had to overcome many challenges, such as finding a distributor, redesigning the console, securing licenses, and marketing the product. Some of the steps that Nintendo took to adapt the Famicom to the American market were: Nintendo partnered with Worlds of Wonder, a toy company that had success with products like Teddy Ruxpin and Laser Tag, to distribute the NES in selected test markets in 1985. Worlds of Wonder helped Nintendo to convince retailers to carry the NES by bundling it with their popular toys. Nintendo redesigned the Famicom into the NES, which had a different shape and color, and a front-loading cartridge slot that resembled a VCR. The NES also had a lockout chip that prevented unauthorized or unlicensed games from running on the system. Nintendo wanted to avoid the quality issues that plagued the previous generation of consoles, and to have more control over the software and hardware of the NES. Nintendo secured licenses from some of the best arcade game developers, such as Namco, Konami, Capcom, and Taito, to port their games to the NES. Nintendo also created its own original games, such as Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid, which became instant classics and established Nintendo's reputation as a leader in game design and innovation. Nintendo marketed the NES as an entertainment system, not a video game console, to differentiate it from the failed products of the past. Nintendo also included a light gun accessory called the Zapper and a robot accessory called ROB to make the NES more appealing and interactive. Nintendo also created a seal of quality logo, which indicated that the games were approved and tested by Nintendo, and a Nintendo Fun Club newsletter, which provided tips, tricks, and news to the NES fans. The NES was a huge success in the American market, as it revived the video game industry and created a phenomenon of video game fandom, merchandising, and media. The NES became the best-selling console of its generation, selling over 34 million units in the US and dominating the market for years. The NES also influenced the culture and society of America, as it introduced many genres, characters, and innovations that are still relevant today. The NES is widely regarded as one of the most influential and important consoles in the history of gaming. And well, I am Andromeda, and this was Nintendo Maniac, the history of the NES. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe so we can continue with this content, and if you have any idea or want to see a special topic, let me know in the comments. See you on the other side of the screen. Bye.